and Sonya Boyce, who's the Executive Director of the Surrey Women's Centre. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us here on a very special morning.
Thank you for having us.
Let's start with you, Sarah. We spoke last year on the show. Tell us a little bit about what the Canadian Women's Foundation is all about.
The Canadian Women's Foundation is Canada's national foundation for women and girls, and we fund programs across the country that help empower women and girls to move out of poverty, out of violence, and into confidence. And so this is our national campaign to end violence against women, and we're raising funds today for 445 shelters across Canada. All the money raised here stays here in BC, 85 shelters in BC, and we're also funding programs that help women and children rebuild their lives after abuse, that help children heal from witnessing abuse, and then also teach teens about healthy relationships and the warning signs to look out for in an abusive situation.
You know, breaking the cycle seems like the universal theme across the board in terms of the message we've got across. Sonya, talk about this in terms of how the Surrey Women's Centre works together with the foundation and the services you provide people looking for support and looking to do that, breaking the cycle.
Surrey Women's Centre is a crisis centre for abused women and children. Most of the women that we work with are fleeing domestic violence, but also sexual assault and child abuse. Often when women leave a relationship or they are being abused, they have a lot of critical decisions to make in a really short period of time. So what we do is we provide a safe place for women and children to come explore their options, walk them step by step through that process to empower them to make the best decisions for their future.
Now, Sonya, that point is very important, is that you explore and walk them through the options. It's totally confidential. Somebody can walk in through your doors afraid of the next step. And what is the very first thing they'll learn at your center?
The very first thing they'll learn is that it's not their fault, right? Whether a woman or a child, it's not their fault, and that support is available. And that it takes a tremendous amount of courage for women to reach out for help. And so we're there to walk with them side by side.
For people that have to live with the pain, and anyone watching this that may have a personal story, what is the advice you have for them if they've gone through something? And you know, we were talking about the statistics that 10% of the situations actually reported to police. What do you say to them that they just think nothing's going to happen, or they don't want to relive the experience all over again?
So, can you rephrase that?
If they've been through a situation, whether it be domestic violence or sexual assault, and they think nothing's going to happen if I step up and I have my voice heard on it, what's the advice you have for them? Because if they don't want to relive the experience, or they think nothing's going to be done, what is the most healthy resolution?
Well, I mean, the first step is to reach out, because there is help out there, and that's the message we want to get out there today, is that you're not alone and that something can be done. We're in a really, you heard Faye talk about her mom and her sister. They didn't have the resources out there, but the resources are there now, so something can be done. It's still a huge problem in Canada, but there's hope, and that's why this morning is called Morning for Hope, right? And we want to close down every shelter across the country, and hopefully the Women's Surrey Centre will be out of business in a few years too.
That would be a great goal to achieve. Now, Faye, in her story, just in case you missed it, was talking about having come from an abusive home. Her sister found herself in an abusive relationship, 18 years her senior, and then she found herself in that. If there is a child watching right now, knows that mom is in a situation that is terribly violent, mom is not making the choices that she can find help, does that child come to you?
Oh yeah, the child can call our crisis line as well. We also provide services, many of the services that we provide for women, we also provide for children as well. So if they need to go to the police or the hospital, or they need to testify in court, we'll be with them every step of the way.
If you just need someone to talk to, they can come and talk to you.
Absolutely.
Ladies, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Service is so important, and again, if you're watching and you want to be a part of this, 1-855-795-0293. We'll do maybe a final tally on a local level, because we need to reach the 50 call mark before 9 a.m.
$10,000 Rogers will donate to match that. 50 phone calls. Carl Valentine, Bob Leonard-Doozy, Craig McEwen, and more on our phone bank, and our partners from News 1130 and Jack FM standing by.